The search engine Google is showing a video doodle in United States to honor the 155th anniversary of Juneteenth. Juneteenth is also known as Freedom Day, Jubilee Day, and Liberation Day. It is an unofficial American holiday and an official Texas state holiday. Short for June 19th, Juneteenth marks the true end of chattel slavery across the United States, which didn't actually occur until 1865, that is, 2.5 years after the Emancipation Proclamation. Specifically, it marks the day when enslaved black people in Galveston, Texas, finally received news of their liberation by Union Major General Gordon Granger. He arrived with 1,800 federal troops in order to ensure compliance in Confederate states, many of which continued to defy the executive order years after it was mandated. Although the Emancipation Proclamation had formally freed them almost 2.5 years earlier, and the American Civil War had largely ended with the defeat of the Confederate states in April, Texas was the most remote of the slave states with a low presence of Union troops, so enforcement of the proclamation had been slow and inconsistent. A common misconception is that this day marks the end of slavery in the United States. Although this day marks the emancipation of all slaves in the Confederacy, the institution of slavery was still legal and existed in the Union border states after June 19, 1865. Slavery in the United States did not officially end until the ratification of the 13th Amendment to the Constitution of the United States on December 6, 1865, which abolished slavery entirely in all of the U.S. states and territories. After receiving the news, the first acts of freedom included locating family members who were sold and shipped off during slavery, legally changing their own names, and creating schools and places to learn, which slaves had been systematically denied before. Couples obtained marriage certificates to form legal union with the person they loved. And later they built towns like Freedman's Town in Houston, established universities like Tuskegee in Alabama, and created a Black Wall Street in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Though widely celebrated by the community in its first years, Juneteenth's absence in the mainstream US historical narrative has made it an unknown holiday to many for decades. The 1960s civil rights era saw a resurgence in Juneteenth awareness, leading to the creation of today's two largest Juneteenth celebrations in Milwaukee and Minneapolis. Later in 1979, legislation was introduced in Texas to officially recognize the holiday, making it a state holiday the following year. Over time, this growing awareness of Juneteenth has led to an exponential growth of events in cities across the US. These celebrations have included rodeos featuring black cowboys, parades with gorgeous floats, readings of proclamation, songs like Lift Every Voice and Sing, and much more. Juneteenth is an American story about persistence, freedom, and joy no matter the obstacle.